You know, there are times in life when you question yourself, you question your surroundings, you question the price of gas, you question the meaning of life. You ask yourself sometimes, maybe, what is love? But what I like to know is, how are you doing today? How are you doing? Personally, how is it that you're going? How are things? Now, this is coming from a place of sincerity today, folks. And before we continue any further, I'd just like to say welcome back to the TrapHouse podcast. Episode 7, ladies and gentlemen, we made it. Lucky number 7. As most of you already know, luck doesn't exist in my book. But I would like to say that with everything going on in the world, believing in luck nowadays, slim chance to none that it's going to work out good for you. But what you couldn't believe, but what you should be focused on, what you should be asking questions about is, what good did I do today? Did I change somebody's life? Did I make an impact that was worthy of being acknowledged? Or even doing it to not be acknowledged? To score you some karma points? What about how your neighbor's doing? Do you worry about that? Do you worry about the bills coming in? Do you worry about how things are going to turn out? Do you worry about tomorrow? Do you think, hey, things will be better tomorrow? I don't believe that that's what should be going on. I mean, if you think for a second, just think for a second, how's it going lately? Just how's it going lately? And if you put that in a really broad spectrum of things, if you just ask yourself, hey, lately, how have things been going? Let me know in the comments. How have things been going for you? Have they been going good? Did you get that promotion at work? Did you get that new car you've been talking about? Did you happen to find a God? Or a God? Or your God? Did you happen to find that higher power that's going to lead you to a place of endless happiness? Did you happen to find Nemo? If you did, let me know. Let me know. Let's talk about it. Anyway, just a simple opening today. Just asking questions. Just a few simple questions. How you doing? How's it going? Where has your life brought you this past however long it's been since the last episode? Who knows? I think it's been weeks. But that's what happens when your mixer fries itself while you're trying to mix some sweet beats. When you're trying to mix them sweet beats and the pitches match or something happened. But I'll tell you right now, as soon as we played a certain tune, my mixer picked it up and it fried itself. And now every time I talk, it sounds like that electric guy. I can't do a robot. Whatever. It sounds weird now. So I had to wait. Obviously. Because for some reason, everything's got to be COVID checked. I mean, my mixer, when I checked the updates for how long it was going to take to get here, it said it was being quarantined because it had COVID. And I was like, Jesus Christ, even the electronics are catching this thing. And it's crazy. But let me just throw this in your ear real quick. If this is such a dangerous thing, why aren't the animals getting it? Why aren't animals dropping dead? Why aren't we seeing birds just fall out of the sky because they got some COVID? I mean, from the stories I'm being told, some guy ate a bat. Now, if that's a fact, and he caught COVID from a bat, don't you think other animals are capable of catching COVID? I don't know, just something to think about. But here is something to really think about. Last episode we asked, was slavery really abolished? Or is it just now widely accepted everywhere? We're going to talk about that right now on the TrapHouse podcast. Here's something to think about. Now, like I said, it's been a few weeks, I think, since the last pod hit the interwebs. So I gave you lots of time to think about it. So hopefully ask yourself, what was it like 400 years ago? I mean, even less, honestly. They say 400. I believe it's a little less. But think about it. During the time that slavery was a thing for some god-awful reason, when some rich white dude was like, hey, how about we just ship these people over and we make them work for free? Now let's think about it for a second. They supplied housing. They fed them barely, right? They did barely fed. And they were treated horribly. So oftentimes killed or tortured. But they had a roof over their head. They were fed. And they worked long hours. Now let's compare that to today. Today, you wake up every morning, some people, at an ungodly hour. I know some people wake up 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. They got to be to work by 4. And then they got to work all day for a boss they hate. And then they get paid minimum wage on top of it. But here's the thing. When they go home, they don't have free housing. They don't have free food. They don't have just a porta potty out back. You got to have running water nowadays. You got to have some type of sanitation system. You got to have running water in your house. So you're getting paid minimum wage to work for a guy you hate, to not be able to live in a house you have to pay for, to leave you dead broke by the end of the week. Now let me ask you this real quick. And I know it doesn't make sense to some people, but here I'm just trying to make it simple. I'm keeping it simple, stupid. The KISS program, KISS. If there were no bills back then, there was no electric bill, there was no mortgage, there was no homeowner's insurance, there was no HHA fund, there was no HSA fund you had to pay into, there was no union dues. You hated the boss back then for sure, right? They had to. Now, it doesn't seem too different from nowadays, does it? And I'm being very frank here because some people are going to get this confused and think, what a fucking piece of shit this guy is. That means you just haven't thought about it hard enough. I've had lots of time to think about this. And if you, on Sunday night, let's just say you work a normal 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. If you, on Sunday night, before you lay your fucking head down on that nice memory foam pillow, if you for 1 second think, oh shit, I gotta set my alarm because I gotta be to work in the morning, you're conditioned every day to be that way. And you're conditioned by a government that tells you you need to work to give us money to keep the roads up. You got to give us money to keep the elderly having their, monthly check come in. We work every day to pay for health insurance. We work every day to pay, to pay YouTube that small fee to enjoy all this great entertainment. Now, if you're telling me that you think it's different, let me know in the comments. Tell me. Tell me how it's different. You do realize, though, that over in China, every day people die in those factories. There are people working in the great United States of America today, working under a man who just went to space to throw ping pong balls around with an 80-year-old woman. Now, if that's not a fucking kick in the dick for all the people who work for that company, and you know which one I'm talking about, think about this. During slave times, all the work was done Who got all the money? Literally, the disbursement of wealth back then, who got all the money? The boss. What did the workers get? Barely enough food to survive. They got a shitty house over their head. Barely enough clothes to stay warm at night. Let's fast forward to the year 2021. Minimum wage in some states is $12 an hour. If you do the goddamn math, I'm not going to do it for you. Because if you have a fucking second grade education, you can figure this out. You barely get enough money to get by. You barely have enough food on your table. You barely have enough clothes on your body. You barely have enough money to put in your gas tank to get to the job you hate. To work for a boss that every day you look at him and you're like, man, it'd be so easy to just like, you know, but you don't. You just grit your teeth and you go to work. 300 years ago, they had to do the same thing. We've just accepted it in this day and age, and we've made it popular. Hey, get this job. Get that job. Work for this boss man so he can go out and buy another Porsche to run into a telephone pole because he was drunk. And then let's let him get off with a little slap on the wrist. Hey, how about this? How about we get real rich and famous, change our sexual identity, mow over a family of fucking Koreans, and then run for governor? Hey guys, it's America. Year 2021, anything's fucking possible. But here's something I want you to wake up to. Was slavery really abolished? Or is it just now widely accepted? Jesus Christ, I just think I blew my own mind with that one. But I thank you guys for tuning in. I thank you guys for taking a little bit of time out of your day to join me. But here's the deal, man. You guys all know I'm not one for the social medias. I'm not one for the broadcasting your shit and put it all out there. But here's the deal. I've got a voice. I'm going to use it. And I want to motivate you. I want to encourage you to make your own choices. Step back. Self-evaluate. See where you really stand. And take action. Take action. If you're happy where you're at, good. Remain happy. I met a guy a few weeks ago at the beach. I asked him how his day was, what he was doing. We just had normal little chit-chat, little small talk. It was nice to meet another human who was happy to be outside, happy not to be in front of a goddamn computer screen. But what the guy told me it was heartbreaking. He told me he was retired. He had worked at the same job for 32 years. The guy looked like he had been pulling rope that had no end. And you know the type of rope I'm talking about, that rope at the gym. That you see that big strong man throwing around like it's nothing. But it looked like this guy had been pulling that same rope for 32 fucking years. You know what was at the end of that rope? He told me this was the vacation that he could take. I asked him where he lived because it was like, man, people really come here to vacation? He told me he lived about 10 minutes away, and this is what he could afford. My heart hurt so bad. The guy put 32 years into a company so that he can go to a free park. Although, hey, some people, that's what they choose to do, and that's great. But this guy said this is what he could afford to do. Breaks my heart because I guarantee you the CEO, his boss, and probably his manager all made quadruple his salary. Their retirement benefits were through the goddamn roof. But the guy who looks like he's been pulling a rope with no end for 32 years just looked crushed. And I guarantee you there's a CEO getting fucking his dick blown while he's playing golf. Or something more extreme than that, like maybe he's hanging from a helicopter while a T-Rex drives and there's a hooker holding on to his calves just blowing him. Because, hey man, they've done everything in the world and it's all because of that 32 years you put in. Was slavery really abolished? Was it? Or is it just now widely fucking accepted. If you need more time to think about it, keep thinking about it. If you need facts on the matter, go do your own research. Because you guys all know, these are facts, in my opinion. So, on to this, man. A lot of you guys have been wondering this. A lot of people have been asking me, what do you think about like hoarders? I mean, I've had conversations with people who are hoarders. I've had conversations with people who despise them. I have conversations with people who they're heartbroken about it. If hoarders had a convention, where the fuck would they put everything? Man, let's talk about that next time. And here's something to think about. If the hoarders had a convention, where would they put everything? Think about it. Let me know about it in the comments. Let me know what you think. Where the fuck would they put everything? Now, I know it's been some time since the last episode, and I don't apologize at all. I've got a life to live, and I'm going to live it. There's no need to gamble your life away on what Rhonda's doing. There's no need to gamble your life away on scrolling, swiping left or right. How many candies can you crush? Live your life so that others look at you and say, God damn, I'm wasting my life. Make people question their own reality. I challenge you to do that. I challenge you, the listener, the human with ears on the other end of this mic, whether you're listening through a cell phone, in your car, on a laptop, in your little Bluetooth. Don't matter how you're listening to it, just listen to this. Being happy is a mindset. Staying positive is a mindset. Choosing to go the extra mile is a mindset. Get in that mindset. Don't let the struggles of life get you down. Don't let a disability break your spirit. I just watched a video of a guy who is a half of a guy who just broke the Guinness Book of World Records for the fastest man on two hands. Don't ever tell me you can't fucking do something. Don't tell me that this life is too hard. Don't tell me that this life is unbearable. Don't tell me that, oh, they said something mean to me. My feelings are hurt. Fuck your feelings. Figure it out. Our species didn't evolve into what we are today because we fucking sat around with our thumbs up our asses. Jesus fucking Christ. We evolved into this great fucking species. This species is the greatest species on Earth that we know of. Yet we can't even place an order at Dunkin' Donuts without causing a scene. Now I know a lot of you are thinking like, gee, what do you mean? I'm pretty sure most of you have heard about this. And if you haven't, you're about to. Let's talk about the Dunkin' Deaf Lady. Not only does this human being have no common sense in her head, but obviously her motor skills are shot. She's given up on life. She's probably a little retarded. I mean, let's be honest. She's probably a little retarded. But then again, so probably are the people who work at Dunkin' Donuts. I don't know about you guys, but I've been to a few Dunkin' Donuts. I've ordered the simplest of things, and it comes out pumpkin spice and everything nice. Get that shit out of here. I ain't about that life. I ordered a black coffee with a little bit of sugar, and you throw a pumpkin spice latte in my face. Man, I understand now why these people take those drinks and throw them back through the window. You ain't never met some of the most retarded people you ever met in your life until you fucking met somebody that worked at Dunkin' Donuts. Mind you, not everybody. Not everybody. I know a few guys. I know a guy who runs one. I know a guy who works at one. I know a few women who work at them. And I'll tell you, I mean, they're good people. Very good people. Some of them are retarded. If you can't get a fast food order right, and you're getting paid I mean, geez Louise, at this rate, at minimum wage, you're getting paid, I don't know, what is it, $13 or $15, something like that? I mean, it is really the minimalist job you could ever do. Working at fast food. You get the job when you're, what, 14, 16, whatever? And now if you can read and write and have one thought process that goes through clearly, you should be able to do that job with no problem. Now listen, sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes you get a deaf lady. Sometimes people are deaf. Now let's read a little bit about this, because this time I want you guys to have the facts, all the facts. Because in this case, you need to have the facts, because they're way funnier than if I were to make this shit up. Because you can't write this shit. You can't. It writes itself. Life allows this to happen so we can talk about it. So let's see. Woman claims she was denied service at Dunkin' Donuts because she was deaf. That title alone should have you fucking rolling on the floor. A woman from Los Angeles has claimed she was denied service at Dunkin' Donuts branch because she was deaf. That's what she claims, everybody. She posted this to whatever, TikTok. In the clip, a teary Shannon, she was crying. Teared up. I didn't know deaf people could cry. It's weird. A little while ago, I got refused service at a Dunkin' Donuts because I'm deaf. That's debatable. Let's read on. This is her words, not mine. I didn't know how to process it. I was confused. I couldn't hear anything. I wear a cochlear implant, but I was not wearing it at the time. I've never been refused service before, and it hurts. It hurts really bad. Remind you, she's crying. And on TikTok. Dunkin' Donuts is my favorite place to go. She says, I called this girl over, told her I was deaf. I have to read her lips, and she didn't take her mask off. We're in the middle of a fucking pandemic, according to the United States government and the CDC. And this deaf lady wants another human to take her mask off. Now, I don't know about you folks, but I just got done talking about a guy who has half a body and is able to do things that most humans can't do. Now, let me read this again to you folks. Let me just read it one more time. She says, I didn't know how to process it. I was confused. I couldn't hear anything. No shit, you're fucking deaf, lady. You ever heard of a fucking pad and pen? Have you ever heard of a pad and pen? Our species has been writing for thousands of years. Shit, the Egyptians were carving shit into marble and stone. They were writing shit on papyrus, rolling it up and sticking it in a tube, and guess what? Preserved it so that we could read it thousands of years later. But because this lady's deaf, she needs somebody to take her mask off so that she can read lips. You ever heard of a pad and pen, bitch? Now, if she's deaf, maybe she's a little confused. I mean, she says here, I've never been refused service before, and it hurts. It hurts really bad. Obviously, this woman lives a sheltered life, maybe. I bet her parents hid her in a closet for a few years. They were probably ashamed of her because she was deaf. Them with their capable ears and all their senses. But that's no reason to blame Dunkin' Donuts for your shortcomings. Now, I don't know about you folks, but from what I've been told, apps, there's an app for everything. I've been told there's an app for everything. So I checked. I went into the Google Play Store. I typed in Dunkin' Donuts. Lo and behold, you won't believe this shit. There's a Dunkin' Donuts app. Now, I was really skeptical when I seen this app because I'm like, there's no way in this day and age that Dunkin' Donuts has kept up with the technology. It's progressed way too fast. There's no way that Dunkin' Donuts has something where you can order online. It's not a chance. So I opened up the app. Guess what? You can place an order on the app, and then nowadays Guess what? You go to the drive-thru, you don't even have to talk to nobody. You drive up and all you got, and they just stick their hand out with whatever you ordered because it's already hot, fresh, and ready. I mean, you got to be retarded nowadays to not know what an app is. Also, you must also be retarded if you don't know what a pad and pen is. You must also be retarded if you think putting up a TikTok video is going to get you some sort of sympathy because you're deaf. Be all the deaf you can be, but don't blame other people for your shortcomings. The fact of the matter is this lady probably suffers from a mental illness. She may have been, like I said, she may have been sheltered as a child. This pandemic has done a number on some people. Maybe that's the case. All I know is this is not headline news. This is not something we should be talking about, but I'm talking about it because I find it funny as fuck. Now, if you think for 1 minute that this lady deserves any sympathy, stop listening to this goddamn podcast. Go somewhere else. In your world, you must look around and see nothing but sunshine and rainbows. In the real world, being a retard by choice, that's frowned upon. It's frowned upon. You ain't have no receipt tape. They got them real clear, they got them shitty clear blue pens there by the droves. And they got shit tons of receipt tape, I know that. Now, if you read on here, she's an Uber driver. This lady's an Uber driver. Uber must really be hurting for people if you're going to hire a deaf Uber driver. Just saying. So she's an Uber driver. And, and then look this is what she says. She says the manager comes over and I could just tell by his body language he was going off and kept doing this, waving his hand across his face, and I kept saying, I can't hear you, I need to lip read. Bitch, they don't need to say nothing to you. Why in the world would they need to say anything other than thank you, have a good day? Now, if you're sitting there talking, lady, and you're deaf, there's nothing that they should have to say to you. Let's continue. He refused to write anything down. He refused to pull his mask down. We're 6 feet apart. There's a plexiglass to the side. I'm wearing my mask. What more do you want from us? We struggle so much during this pandemic. Enough is enough. See, there it is. There it is. If that right there. There's your answer, folks. Written in black on white paper. We struggle so much during this pandemic. Enough is enough. People don't believe I'm deaf, and I could sense and feel him that he didn't believe me. He didn't believe I was deaf because I speak so well. It's a blessing and a curse. No, the curse is you're fucking retarded, lady. If you're speaking, that means you can place an order. You don't need to hear what they say. And why would you need to read her lips? Do you need that satisfaction of the thank you or the you're welcome? This lady is one of them people who need to look themselves in the mirror and say, fuck, I need a 30-day self-cleanse. I've been spending too much time in the Uber with random-ass strangers. I mean, she doesn't have to listen. Would she turn around and read their lips the whole time? How do you drive for Uber and be deaf? Do you read the lips in the rearview mirror? Wouldn't the words be backwards? Forced dyslexia through the mirror. Being deaf. Let's continue. Let's fucking continue. This lady looks like she's got maybe 2 or 3 kids, and she drives for Uber just to get away from them. Okay? Alright, so I can't even. Alright, so Dunkin' Donuts responds. The company, however, responded to the claims in a follow-up video posted 2 days ago. Shannon said the manager apologized for his actions along with Dunkin' Donuts corporate office and franchise owner. She also claims she met with the owner to discuss some possible ways to prevent a similar incident from happening again. Yeah. Pen and paper. Or don't bend to the 0.0000008% of the population that's deaf and can only read lips. In a service industry, they serve you. They don't talk to you. They don't hold your hand. What are you looking for? A fucking shoulder to cry on? You cried all through that fucking TikTok video from what it looks like. I ain't gonna fucking watch it because I ain't got no TikTok. Fact of the matter is, you're deaf and retarded. Get a pen and paper, lady. And for all of you who think this is some sort of hate speech, it's not. It's supposed to be funny. And if you don't like it, and honestly, if you don't like it, listen, I'm okay. Not gonna hurt my feelings. There's a little button that you can push on your phone, your laptop. It's called the power button. Shut it off. Go do something else. Go listen to a deaf lady talk on a podcast. Go listen to a deaf lady talk to you on TikTok. Because she talks so well. She talks so well, but doesn't listen so good. Now, if you all believe that this lady needs some sort of help, I would reach out to someone, I guess, and say, this lady needs help. Maybe calling a wellness check on her. I don't know. All I know is, hey lady, grab a pen and a piece of paper. When it comes down to it, ladies and gentlemen, or whatever else you choose to define yourself as nowadays, I wish you a good night, a good day, a good morning, a good afternoon. I hope that everything you hope for, I hope that everything that you're dreaming for, that you're reaching for, if there's a goal that you have in mind that you've set before you, I hope you get it. I really do. There's no point in shooting for the fence and hitting the ground. Shoot for the stars. Shoot for the fucking stars. Look at this. If we could put people in space, right? If we could send 4 people to space in a dick to throw around ping pong balls and suck M&Ms out of the air, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. You gotta do what Willy Wonka said in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Johnny Depp. You just reach out and take it. Just reach out and take it. It's yours to take. If you want it that bad, you just fucking go get it. I wish all of you well, and I thank you once again for tuning in to the Trap House Podcast, episode number 7. It's been a fun day. It's been a fun journey. Again, I appreciate all of you. I hope the best for all of you. And remember, positivity breeds positivity, folks.